from what I gather, the way that she was explaining it to me, and I'm going to try to explain it in very simplistic terms, is that mass has not come from nothing, right? That mass comes from something and continues to be something. And that momentum means, as she explained it to me, that everything that is touched sort of continues to be influenced by that touching process. And that energy, like mass, doesn't come from nothing, it comes from something. So that energy is sort of always existing. And when I heard this, I immediately thought of the divine. I immediately went to that which is spirit. I said, oh wow, that's pretty cool. These are the characteristics of God. Characteristics of the divine, the one source, the one power, spirit. Now, for me, I don't pretend to understand God or the divine, the one source. I don't really understand. And I don't really know. I don't think that the divine, that spirit, that one source, is to be known really, but to be experienced. So this essence that we call God, this divine, is something that we sort of dunk into. We dunk in the essence of that which is divine. And for me, when that happens, it's the greatest gift. Now this divine self, this higher self or observer self, this essence, I believe has always existed. I believe that by itself it has no expression because it's an entity, because it's an energy. This blessed self or higher self, God self, it's the life principle that actually enlivens matter, enlivens that which is mass. Now we know that this self is something other than the body, mind, and intellect, and we know that it's changeless reality. We know that this higher self, this absolute self, is what the Tao Te Ching is talking about when they call it Tao. And they say that the Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. It is unnameable. It is eternally real. And it's what the Native Americans call great mystery, because it is a mystery. It has always existed and will continue to exist. In the same way that the physicist talks about this conservation of mass, momentum, and energy. It's pure awareness, pure consciousness. It is supreme reality. It's what the Hindu chant that I sang earlier was talking about, Sat Chit Ananda. All that is true, all that has always existed, and all that is bliss, joy, joy everlasting. And so here's the great news. We are that. This isn't something that we try to achieve. It's not a destination that we have to go to. There's no duality. This is the beautiful part of this, is that it's not that I'm here and God is there. Beautiful song. What an amazing voice. God is my friend. What if I am God? So this essence, this nature, this spirit that I am, is the ray from the sun that is God. See, we've forgotten, and let me put it in the I have forgotten my true nature. I have forgotten my higher self. I so identify with my ego. Now, I don't believe that there are any coincidences. I don't believe that, we're here in this moment, in this time, in this space, today, by accident. I believe that we were meant to be in this place, and it's because our karma, our good karma, has brought us together. I believe that we are spiritually evolving and that we will eventually remember completely who we really are. Eventually, we will become enlightened. We will wake up from this dream. We will know, in fact, the essence of who we are, which is our spirit, our soul, the soul that is connected, this essence and energy that is associated with and is of the same essence as the divine, the one source. The Hindus call it Atman, the soul. The Sikhs call it Geo. Jesus talked about it as the kingdom of heaven is within you. Jesus is talking here about the higher self. Jesus is talking about the blessed self, that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And eventually, I know this is true, eventually we will awaken. We will become enlightened. See, we've only temporarily lapsed into this state of unconsciousness, into this ignorance. Now, I gotta tell you that I really get this. I get this on an intellectual level. How many of you actually understand what I'm talking about? Right? Here's my problem. My problem is staying in that. My problem is that I forget that and I get caught up in ego. See, because on an emotional level, there are times when I really, really can see through the veil. Some of you have the gift of mediumship, and you know what I'm talking about when you see through the veil. There are times when I actually get it, that I am spirit, and that I'm not caught up in this body, mind, intellect. I know that. But then I immediately go back. I immediately go back to that place of being mired in the illusion of Maya and entangled with what I have to do, who I am in this world, what my next email that I have to check, the next place I have to be at, my next interaction. I do it in the body, mind, intellect realm instead of in the spirit realm. And when I'm in worry and when I'm in fear, I know for sure I have forgotten the true essence of who I am. Because in one of the songs that we just now heard, I think it was the beginning song, I have all I need. There's no lack. There's no fear. There's no doubt. You know why? Because I'm the spirit. I am the soul that draws upon the endless riches that the universe has. See, what I don't get or understand is, here's the thing. If this is Maya, illusion, the entanglements of ego, and I am really a spiritual being having a human experience, and sometimes I get that, and sometimes I feel that, then why am I here to begin with? Ever think about that? So, why am I here then? Why was I born into this existence? The noble truths of the Buddha recognize that life is suffering, and that we suffer because we crave and cling to that which is not real, to that which is changing constantly. And the end of this suffering, the Buddha says, lies in our detachment to this mirage. A Course in Miracles teaches us that appearances deceive, but reality is changeless. The reality that they're talking about is that which is called absolute reality, not apparent reality. Jesus talked about being in this world, but not of this world. That's what he was talking about. He was talking about remembering that you are in apparent reality and that it isn't real, and that all that truly exists is absolute reality. So, I have to remind myself that while I wait to eventually become enlightened, I need a set of instructions on how to deal in practical reality, in what we call apparent reality. I believe that all of the great mystics, prophets, and sages taught us this. And that here's the instruction: love, serve, and remember. Love one another. Be the beloved. Be the divine to all. Be the hands and feet of God on earth. Be an instrument in the hands of the divine. Love, serve. And remember, what am I remembering? I'm remembering who I really am. I'm remembering my true nature. You know, the Hindus believe that to be born a human is like the most precious gift. It's a precious gift because it's in the human experience that we can become enlightened. It's in this tuning into a higher frequency that we can access absolute reality. Now, I have to remind myself not to despise Maya. Don't despise this illusion, because everything I see is manifest divine. It's the divine manifesting itself through matter. So I shouldn't despise it. It means I shouldn't despise my loved ones, despise my email, despise the places I have to go while I wait to be in absolute reality. It means to appreciate and dunk in the essence of all that is, because it's all good, it's all God. To move and to breathe and have our being in that which is divine, which is love and joy. Now, when I act upon that love, I'm acting on behalf of the blessed self. Here's a great saying from A Course in Miracles. It says, "Spirit is overjoyed to take 5 minutes of each hour from your hands and use them around this aching world where pain and misery appear to rule. So that expressed through you, Spirit will increase this gift that you've received, increase its power and give it back to you." I was just reading the Gospel of Thomas, which is a non-canonical gospel that was found in the find of Nag Hammadi. And the saying of Jesus that was written shortly after Jesus' death, it says, quote, Jesus said this, "The seeker," we're seekers, "the seeker should not stop until he finds. When he does find, he will be disturbed. After being disturbed, he will be astonished, and then he will reign over everything." Now, this was the first quote by Jesus in this gospel, and when I read it, it's like so amazing. Okay, so Jesus is encouraging us, keep on seeking. Keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on creating good karma, because that's what's brought you here. Keep on your journey. Keep on seeking. Discover what is real. At first, this may be disturbing. Why? Because it's a letting go of that which we've been holding on to that is not real. Sort of like looking for love in all the wrong places. But then comes the astonishment. Wow. What I've been seeking has been within me all along. And it is in that moment of awareness that we can reign over everything. So in the chant that we heard earlier, I am that. I am that essence. I am that divine nature. I am that blessed self. Nothing can harm me. Nothing can touch me, because that spirit is undying, unchanging, and the only thing that is absolute reality. Namaste.